So I want to introduce you to something that you may be using, that you might not be using, that you might be curious about, that you might hear other people are using. And it's the 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is AI. I'll be honest, I was kind of resistant. I'm kind of old school. I saw Terminator. So I was like, wait a minute, we're going to do Skynet, man. I can't do it, man. But honestly, AI has changed the way I do virtually everything, and in many ways for the better. I think there are some potential negative consequences, but in reality, having these things at your fingertips is extraordinarily powerful. It's hard to even quantify in words how powerful ChatGPT and Google Gemini and Grok and all these other AI tools are, and they're advancing quickly. And these things can really turbocharge your efficiency as a business, especially if you know how to use them. If you're not using them, there's virtually no facet of a business that wouldn't benefit from some level of integration there. And I mean that. Content creation being one of them, since we're on the topic. I used to have to think and conceptualize so many different things. And I have ideas all day long, as do you. I'm sure you're a river of ideas, right? But if they don't go anywhere, if they aren't channeled, if they aren't condensed, if they aren't refined, they just kind of disappear, right? I think a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners are cut from the same cloth. We're visionaries, we're dreamers, we're doers, we're executors. So there's ideas flying around all the time. I want to do this, I want to do that, oh, blah, blah, blah. Look at this over there. I'm that way. I'm like a hummingbird on crack. A little bit, maybe just coffee. We'll just say coffee. Anyway, implementing AI and Google Gemini and ChatGPT into some of my workflows has helped immensely refine my ideas, put them back in different perspective, share them. There's any number of ways that you can utilize these tools in your business. I'm just going to go over a few. These are just to get you introduced to it. We've added Google Gemini into the dashboard, as I showed you how to do. But now we're going to show you exactly how to use it on a base level, because this is a deep well here. There's a lot to learn here. And honestly, I'm still a novice. I'm still learning it myself. But really, it just comes down to prompting and asking questions and then refining it and knowing how to ask and how to structure the question to get the result that you're looking for. So without further ado, let's jump into some Google Gemini. Okay, so this is the basic dashboard of Google Gemini, and very similar to other Google products. It's got a similar format, right? New, this menu, drop-down menu, settings, activity, etc. But really the main thing down here is just where you're going to ask to prompt it. Again, up here, you can navigate to other parts of Google and your profile, etc. We won't get into that, but up here in the top left, there are a few different iterations, or I guess more or less machines that Google has created. The Flash version, Thinking, Pro, which is experimental, Deep Research, Personalization. These are incredible. Every single one of them will likely get you an answer that you're looking for. And with that in mind, we're just going to choose the Advanced Reasoning, okay? Deep Research is crazy. Honestly, if you want to pull data on your competition, the industry, where it's going, trends, the sky's the limit. Any question you've ever had, you're likely to find an answer here. This is not like searching on Google, right? Because really what a search engine does is then curate all these answers, not even answers. It just like, oh, I'll find something that's related to that. And then it was up to you to have to go through and click on one of those things and then research it yourself. This is a lot different, right? This will find and condense and refine and create these incredible reports for you of the entire knowledge base of the internet, and done like that. You can't even imagine how useful this is in your industry. I promise you, start thinking about these questions and in these terms about like, how can I leverage this? Where can I use this? Where are the site gaps in my own thing? Taking lists of contacts and like refining them, separating out emails, whatever it is. There's so many things that can be done here. We're just going to do a basic research, right? Deep research. How about the roofing industry? Let's ask about, where's the roofing industry trending in 2025? I don't even know the answer to that, but we're going to find out. Now, the deep research can take some time because, again, it's scrubbing the entirety of the internet for articles, publications, blog posts, social media posts. Here you go. It's actually telling you how it's thinking. Research focus, key areas of investigation, next steps in research. This is with a simple prompt, just asking roofing industry trends of 2025. Like, that's such a broad question. It's going to get a broad answer. But look at all these websites it's pulling from now. These are all the trade things that you probably look at. Maybe not all of them. You're probably not aware of a lot of these. This would be impossible to really know all of these. But this is the power of AI. And I want you to start thinking about how you can leverage this in your day-to-day life. Instead of wondering, instead of just asking Google and then getting a bunch of sponsored ads and then getting frustrated and not finding it and then a Reddit post or something, this is a great way to condense huge amounts of time, collapsing time and all this research, and really allowing the power of machine learning and AI to do some of the thinking and heavy lifting for you. Again, I don't know where this is going to go. This is really just a demo to show you the power of what Google Gemini can do. By the way, this is free. We live in the future, guys. This is free. Didn't pay for this, and yet after a single prompt, this amount of work would take a single human being likely a month, if you could even do it with this level of objectivity. It's still going, still thinking. Researching 241 websites. I'm not going to... Well, actually, we'll just let this continue. I'll just fast forward the video. Interesting thing to note here. Commercial design innovations. I found that commercial roofing in 2025 is seeing a rise in demand for sustainable and energy efficient designs. This includes the use of cool roofs, green roofs, and solar integrated roofing systems. There's also a trend towards more durable and weather resistant materials to protect commercial buildings from increasingly severe climate conditions. Okay, you might have already known that, but that's one of hundreds of things that this is putting together. So there's no need anymore to really think about, like, I wonder what's happening. You can have a non-objective or non-subjective rather machine scour the internet for some of the answers you're going to do. Now, I want to also preface this by saying, continue to use your brain, please. I know people that are so heavily dependent on ChatGPT, it's like they don't think their own thoughts. Never lose that. Never lose your edge. Never lose your brain power. But you plus AI, incredible, unstoppable. I'm going to fast forward this because it's still doing its thing. Again, this is at the cutting edge of research and all the publications. You can see all these websites that it's drawing from. It's drawing conclusions based off of very solid reason and logic, right? This is an amount of work that a human being couldn't possibly do in this time frame. Like, this would take a full-time employee. You'd have to employ someone at a decent hourly wage to say, I want you to come up with a report of where the roofing industry is headed in 2025. Like, that would cost a lot of money and time, and it would be their own, it would be based on their ability to do that. Just something to keep in mind. These are the types of things that AI can actually do extremely well, extremely efficiently, and you could argue unbiased, right? But still, I'll let you be the judge of the results. You start reading some of this stuff, you're like, this is better than anything I've ever done ever in my life. Okay, fine. But the best part is you have better, higher leverage things to do. You should be on calls, closing people. You should be managing better accounts, going after bigger things. Machine learning, AI can take a lot of this heavy lifting away from that, of the thought process. Anyway, I'm not some AI evangelist. Maybe I am now. But the reality is, if you're not doing this and your competition is, you're still thinking like pen and paper and I got a hunch about something and let's get a Post-it note and put it on the wall. I don't know, man. Like, you got to get with the times. 2025, there's ChatGPT and Gemini on your phone. Questions can be answered instantly, and you could have directives printed out, ready to go. No questions asked. So we've completed this comprehensive analysis of the roofing industry, right? That took a little while. It was a couple minutes, but you know how long that would have taken me? I couldn't have even done that. Impossible that I could have completed this task in any reasonable amount of time, nor would I have wanted to, nor would you. Again, you have better, more high leverage things to do. Here's the craziest part. We'll read just the synopsis. Roofing industry is poised for continued expansion in 2025, demonstrating a positive growth outlook driven by sustained construction activity, increasing demand for sustainable solutions, and the integration of advanced technologies. Out of the gate, that's just as good as any human being, better actually, than they could ever write. Incredible. Multi-page document here talking about the thing, showing its work. Look at this. Export to docs. Now, at your next meeting, when you're talking about all these things with your crew, you can look at all these things, read through this and highlight it and be like, so in the know. This is like a forensic level understanding of an industry that happened in a few clicks. Wonderful. Okay. And this is across the board. If you're not a roofer, fine. Landscaper, electrical contractor. The sky's the limit on the questions. You just have to think about how to prompt it to get you the result you're looking for. Let's do one more and then we'll move on. In the top left here. So before I forget, when you say export to docs, this now exports a Google Doc, which will be, you can locate in the Google Doc portion up here in this hamburger menu, Google Docs. They'll start to populate here. So Google Docs is actually another one that you might want to keep up on this dashboard. I should mention, because if you're using Gemini and exporting it as a GDoc, you should just leave Google Docs up here as well. Add that to the list. But back into Gemini usage. Again, basic usage here. Top left here, this new chat. Click that. And instead of deep research, I'm just going to go to the flash, like everyday help here. Let's do a simple prompt, but content topics in the construction industry. We'll just keep it generic. It's funny because all this course I made it out of my own mind. It's not, I wasn't ChatGPT or Gemini, but it's nice to see the genius machine say basically what I already knew: before and afters, project time lapses, completed project tours, highlighting specific skills, day in the life, team introduction and spotlight, tool demonstration, safety practices. You can print this out. This is your manuscript. You don't have to guess like, oh, I wonder what we're going to do for content. I asked Gemini. It's now given me the document. Q&A. Watch. Down here, this share and export. Export to docs. Open docs. Here it is. Print it out. There's your content strategy. You don't have to, I wouldn't say you don't have to think anymore, but so much of the heavy lifting on like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to get started. Ask the question. Ask and you shall receive. We live in the future, guys. It's unbelievable. To put this together would take several hours, right? And you'd have to already know this stuff. Now you've got the manuscript or the template that a high-level content creator would give you. You'd have to pay so much money for this. If you were to ask somebody, again, hey, can you come up with a customized content strategy for me? Sure, done. What? How much is that worth you? You just came up with it because you knew how to prompt Google Gemini. Kevin is actually going to show a ChatGPT version. I use Google Gemini personally. I'm kind of Google guy. I've been using Google my whole life. Not my whole life, but since they've been around. I've been on Gmail since day one and really integrated a lot of their tech. And I love Google Gemini. It's very useful. Highly recommend using it. And my challenge for you today as we close this out, think about ways, think about tasks, think about items that you can start using Google Gemini or ChatGPT for. There are endless possibilities with work that you can take off your plate, questions you can have answered, directions you can take. It's really at the limit of your ability to prompt and implement. So this is cutting edge stuff, man. Honestly, everyone's going to start using this. If they don't, they'll be so obsolete. You don't have the time anymore to be pulling out just a pen and paper and all this stuff. That's great. Still, never lose that. Never lose the ability to do that. Stay OG. I'm staying OG human forever. But this thing implemented into your business is going to turbocharge productivity. It's going to advance the way that you do just about everything. Implement it. Start thinking about it. Start using it.